Hey guys, it's me, it's QueenAusetHeru, and today we are going to take a look at this. This book is one that I just finished. Some of you may remember I got this book 6 or 7 months ago, and I was doing this book with my best friend. My best friend Teresa died, and we were on the last chapter when she passed away, and I recently finished the book by myself, which was really hard. But it's called After the Breakup, a self-love journal, prompts and practices to help you get over your ex, by Lindsey, Dortch, Brock, LCSW. So underneath this video, I am an Amazon affiliate. So underneath this video, I will leave you a link to where you can get a copy of this on Amazon.com. Please stop the video, pause it if you want to read the back. But right now, I'm going to tell you all about it and my experiences while using it. My name is QueenAusetHeru once again, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody who might like it too. Please let us know in the comment section, have you ever had a breakup and how did you deal with it? Okay? I would love to know about that. Let's see. If you want to get a reading done or if you want to talk to me, my information is underneath this video as well. Let's get started. So after the breakup, what was it like? Well, first of all, let me say this book is really for anybody who's ever broken up with anybody. So it could be that you recently broke up, or it could be that you broke up with a person or multiple people in the past. It could be really for anything like that. Because what happens is some of us break up with a person and never really process the breakup. We just move on, you know? We broke up, we cry, if we cry. Some of us don't even do that. But basically we go through whatever we go through. We move on to the next relationship, the next situationship, whatever the case is. And what happens is over time, we get baggage, emotional baggage from these things that we have let go unaddressed, these emotional wounds that have gone unaddressed. And some of us will never address them. So this book is to help people who have broken up with somebody and the wounds are still present, and it could be fresh or not. I got this book because I was dealing with a narcissist who was not my lover. This person was a suitor and got kicked to the curb. But when that happened, it was really painful for me because I really liked this person. I knew this person for 23 years. So it was very painful to me. And my best friend, the one that passed over, may she rest in peace, she had several, and I had several too, breakups. But her last one had been years ago, and she had never really processed it. So every day, we would get together on the phone and we would read one of the prompts or one of the practices, and then we would talk about it, and then we would journal about it. So it was extremely therapeutic for me because it helped me in a lot of different ways. The book is broken up into chapters, and each chapter deals with a different aspect of the breakup. Now, at the end of the book, the chapter that I had to do by myself, that chapter is about starting to date again, starting to see people again, and getting yourself back out there. The whole, all the chapters before that is about healing the self and getting yourself ready. Because most of us, after a breakup, feel like shit. Most of us are grieving. We're either sad, we're either angry. And every exercise that we did here helped us take a very hard look at what our emotions are, why we were having those emotions, what we could do differently. I remember the first day that we opened this book, and the book was talking about the effects of dopamine, serotonin, and hormones on your body, and how many of us during a breakup struggle in that area because some of us, love and relationships gives us that adrenaline boost, that dopamine boost, that serotonin boost. And then we break up with somebody and now we're depressed, we're lethargic, we lack motivation. And it talked about how some of that comes from the lack of dopamine and serotonin being created and then flushed through your body. So you're addicted to that. You're addicted to it like a drug for some of us. So it talked a lot about that. And I could see in that how that could be very problematic in my own life, because it was like, well, yeah. And then she went on to say you can get dopamine and serotonin in other ways, such as exercise and blah, blah, blah. So the whole book was geared towards figuring out what your issues were and finding healthy and productive ways to heal that, change that, grow with that. It made you look at your patterns. So if you have had some issues with dating, what part of that is you and what part of that is the other person? So, okay, maybe my last, suitor was a covert narcissistic jerk, but how'd you end up with this covert narcissistic jerk? What was it about him that you enjoyed? What is it about this person why'd you let them in your life? How many times have you let a jerk into your life? Is there a pattern here? Does it go back to something in you? It's a lot of things in here that it was very introspective. And for me, it was really wonderful because I was doing it with another person. So not only did I have a chance to read about it and then talk about it, here it is right here. I had a chance to read about it and talk about it with that person and then write about it, So it was very introspective in that way. Now, if you'll give me the opportunity, I want to read to you that exercise. This was the first exercise and it blew me away. And it had me head first go into this book. It says, driven by withdrawal. Consider your behaviors following the breakup. Make a list of 4 behaviors that might have been driven by a hunt for oxytocin and dopamine, but that you suspect weren't actually what was best for your healing. Then go through your list and write down what feelings might have been driving each behavior or decision. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, because with that part, the first thing I was like, what's dopamine? What does that have to do with anything? I wanted to know. And I looked it up, and these are not drugs. These are hormones, chemicals in the body that make you feel good. And they're produced when you're in relationships sometimes. Oh my goodness, look at me. I'm sweating up a storm. So they're produced sometimes when you're in relationships. They're produced by other ways too. So that was the first thing for me, was looking up dopamine, looking up oxytocin, and then serotonin came up with the 3 of those. Finding out the effects of that, I was blown away. Then answering the question, times when I've done things to get that fix. Okay, well, maybe you dated somebody or went out with somebody after the breakup just to get that fix. Stuff like that. So being introspective, being honest with myself, and having another person with me that was really helpful with accountability. Because she would be like, we didn't do our question today. We didn't do our practice. Or I would be like, hey, what are you doing? We're 3 pages behind, So she and I motivated each other and kept each other working through the book. And it was deep. It was heavy. This is not surface stuff, like some people, this isn't surface stuff. You're going deeply into your behaviors, your patterns, your motivations. And it's wonderful because then, like I said, at the end of the book, now it's like, okay, how can you do this differently the next time? What do you not want to repeat? So this is an excellent book for anybody who has any wounds from a breakup. One of my elders has wounds from her breakup. She got divorced in the 80s, like 82, 83. And she, to this day, is still hurt by the breakup. And this is the kind of book that I would love to give her. She wouldn't do it though. She would completely ignore me. But this is the kind of book that I would love to give her, because it would help her not only get over it if she allowed herself to, but it also would help her to move on. And one of the things about a book like this, you have to be ready to move on. I do after the breakup readings now. And one of the things I do when I do those readings, I have the person purchase this book and do certain aspects of this book. And the thing about it is that you have to be ready. You have to be like, you know what? I want to take a deep dive into my psyche and heal the things that are still there. I want to heal what's broken. I want to change how I date. I want to change the kind of people that are drawn to me. It even talks about like, not just who you accept, but who you attract. And if you don't like who you attract, changing that, it's so much, and it's so much richness in this book. I laughed, I cried a lot. And it's not just, remember I said it was like journal prompts in here. Well, it's also like lists. Here's a list that you can make. And there's pages in here that you don't write anything at all, that you just read. Situations, like for instance, she talked about, like, this is something you just read. And like there's also in here like stories about other people's breakups, things that can give you an aha moment and things like that. So I highly recommend this book. I would give this book a 10 out of 10. There was nothing about this book I would change at all. I would give it a 10 out of 10. The questions are perfect. The practices are perfect. The ideas are on point. And I think that if you are somebody who's ever been through a breakthrough, this is really helpful. It has a lot of fun quotes in here, or inspirational quotes that make you think, stuff along those lines. So I greatly recommend this book to anybody who's going through or has gone through a breakup. Okay? So if you want to ask me any more questions about my experiences with this book that is not in this video, please feel free to hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, or to email me. Take a look underneath this video to get the link to this book. And I hope that it brings you as much comfort as it brought me. It was funny, but it took me 7 months to finish this book. Because remember, I was only doing one exercise a day, and only Monday through Friday. And so it took me a little longer than if I had just went right through it. But I wanted to savor it. I didn't want to just, get the book and be done in 3 days. I wanted to savor it, and I wanted to really consider it. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to deep dive it. So it took me about 7 months to finish it. And by the time I finished the book, I was ready to start dating again. Definitely. But then my friend died, so I didn't. I fell into this depression, and now I'm pulling my way out of the depression. But I was at a good space where I was ready to date, and I felt healthy enough to date and get better results. So it was very helpful in those ways. All right. So check it out, and you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.